It's not about always having the other people see what you're doing. It's about a self-fulfillment. So you shouldn't be worried about what they're doing. You should be worried about inside you, what you want to be and how you're expressing yourself.
My name's Rick Payne. Rick Nasty Payne is named by my friends because all my tricks I do, I make them perfect. Therefore, I'm Rick Nasty. I'm 21. I moved down to Daytona Beach, Florida to attend Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I got sidetracked. Some of my friends at school had bikes. I met a couple top dogs in the game. I ran into Brandon. Just started from there. I seen him doing a trick. Me and him got on a friendship level. I compete with my friends on a personal level. And I seen him do a trick. I said, yo, I can do that better than you. So I got on my bike, I started riding, I'm breaking my bike, I'm missing class. I had to set my priorities straight, finished my first year of school, and ever since April of '02, I've dedicated 100% of my life to riding.
3.5 years ago, I heard about this contest and, I was like, hell, I want to go. And I had known who Rick Payne was, but I didn't really know him as a person or nothing like that. And I knew he liked to ride, I liked to ride, and I just asked him, you want to go out there with me, since how you ain't got no way out there and I don't have no one to go with.
So me and him kind of built like a friendship riding together. He was teaching me how to ride.
So we both went out, we rode together, and we had a really good time. And ever since that trip, we've managed to hit almost every trip. There was one point where 1.5 years we didn't miss one show, and both of us probably placed top 3 in every event we competed in. The way I look at it is we're brothers from another mother,
We're totally two different people in every aspect, but our personalities just go so well together. When we're together, good things happen.
I'm a little more wild, crazy, and don't really care and have any fears, where Rick Payne's more conservative, laid back, set down, and likes to have things 100% perfect. I'll fly by the seat of my pants, where Rick wants to have it dialed in perfect.
We're just here at Crescent City Customs getting ready for the competition this weekend. Hopefully we'll come out there. I think we got the best looking bike in Florida right now. My man Scott's hooking it up. We take body work like this that I've just totally destroyed from, crashing 5 times a day, at least learning new tricks. Takes this body work and makes it look like this. So we're out here doing right now. We're getting a last minute buff job for the show. That way we go down there, we got the prettiest bike. Hopefully a bunch of first places too. My passion is building friends, it's making me money. It's basically doing everything I need to live right now, you know what I mean? I'm supporting it, like this competition, hopefully if I get my practice in tomorrow, that's gonna pay my rent for the next 2 months. So mine and Brandon's friendship turned into a 4-year struggle of our team called Purebred Riders, which is basically, it's becoming a household name right now with the MTV airtime. We've been to 4 different countries, about 30 different states. It's been a hard struggle at first, you know what I mean? We just put in like a year straight of riding, practicing 5 days a week to get our name out there, get our skills up to par so we can, our performances are good. Okay, so we're out at our special practice spot out in the middle of nowhere in Central Florida. I got my 2 competitions tomorrow. I got longest endo and longest coaster, and this is the perfect spot for the competition. I got my man Ricky out here. He does freestyle motocross with Brandon. He's seen what we do on the street bikes. He wants to be a part of it now. So I got him out here, kind of like my little apprentice. I'm training him. Like stoppies, they're obviously the harder trick, because when you come up too far, you can't do nothing but just get ran over, you know what I mean? I broke my collarbone doing that. I flipped one over and had my scrape bar cut me in the back and smashed my ankle. Getting prepared. Hopefully 2 hours of riding, man. got a chance at landing me $1,600. There's so much more behind what I'm doing. You know, I'm not some squid out causing people to crash. You know, I'm in my parking lots. I'm doing this professionally. I got my merchandise going on. I got big time sponsorship coming. You know, it's just serious. Yeah, it's basically a whole nother level than just out power wheeling, you know, getting tickets, getting arrested. We get supports from local cops. You know what I mean? They like what we're doing. They see we're not out, you know, breaking the parking lot, doing burnouts, busting out windows, robbing the place. They support it. I think it's 300 feet. I'm coming up quick. I'm doing good. So basically, I'm out here at a HEI bike shop. I got some merchandise in. You know, I supply Mark's merchandise, our Purebred Riders hoodies, our t-shirts, soon to be our video. I got those out here selling. Like I help him with advertising. He helps me with all the parts I need. And I got my merchandise in just in time to make up enough money to compete in my competition this weekend. Can't let the competition get ahead of me, you know what I mean? This thing's gonna be so much fun. I was supposed to be in Daytona today, picking up a big order, but stuff was coming from Pennsylvania and they wanted like $70 to overnight it to get here, like 3 hoodies. And they won't start the order unless they're doing the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like they won't run everything and then wait and start it back up for 3 hoodies. Online sales, I got a pretty decent profit ratio, but just regular friend stuff plus all the stuff I end up giving away.
There's a lot of respect issues in the sport, simply dealing with the fact that you have so much of a diverse crowd and so many different lifestyles coming together as one, and we all enjoy the bikes in the same way, but we're all raised differently. So, you know, of course we're going to have disrespect problems, and you're going to have problems with people not following the rules and not cooperating, but you're going to have that anywhere you get a big group of people together that was all raised in different cultures and societies.
Guys, shit.
Trying to get my shit back together.
Yeah, I heard some bus fucking fly apart.
But I forgot to tighten my chain up.
It's not worth crashing on this surface for the money, you know what I mean? Look at that big pile of sand and shit right there. Yeah? Dude, this place is terrible.
I think the street riding impacts the sport very negative. I love street riding more than anything. I'm a street rider. I will be a street rider till the day I die. But it brings a very negative aspect to the sport because you're pushing something on somebody that they might not want to be involved in. Somebody that's driving down the highway might not want to see a motorcycle go by them on one wheel at 100 miles an hour versus where the carload of kids can't take their eyes off you and is begging mom and dad to speed up to catch you so they can see more. And, you know, if you sat down and actually talked to us, you'd find out that we're all educated, we're all very smart individuals that have families, and we care about, you know, each other and what we're doing.
There's no way I can beat him.
Yeah, what's his name?
Joe Brown?
Yeah.
The one rolling far on the black or the red and white bike.
The one that just went by.
Yeah.
season coasters, which are my competitions. They cut the payouts in half. They're only playing first place now. There's no second or no third. My trainer, Joe Brown, taught me how to do stoppies. And he's about 100 feet ahead of me there, so I can't beat him. So I'm going off on coasters, which I'm coming all the way down to the wall here. And I don't think anybody's gonna be able to beat me there. So I'm sticking to that. Hopefully I'll make 300 bucks. That'll at least pay for the trip, you know what I mean? This track's so bad, I feel like I'm riding in a field somewhere. I feel like a motocross track. It's bumpy, there's sand everywhere, there's big lines, dips, there's grass growing through it. But we all got the same disadvantage. You know, I'm gonna go out there, try my best. Hopefully I'll pull some money, man. We got a big competition coming up in 2 months, Stunt Wars. You know, we got huge $4,000 payouts in almost every event. You know, 2 months away. Hopefully we just take this, you know, we learn from our mistakes here. Practice, we got 2 months to get ready. Hopefully, you know, that'll work out better for us.
And we sat down and decided together that we weren't going to give up. And that's the whole attitude from breeding the pit bulls is, you know, pit bulls, one of their biggest features is that they don't give up. They will never give up. And that's our feature, you know, with the whole pit bull thing is that we're never going to give up.
So, I mean, I got to juggle between practice, you know, to keep my skills up to par for the competitions. You know, I got to do the business aspect, which is the website, the merchandise, you know, the sponsorship packages, you know, booking our shows, you know, trying to get good sponsors like this. And then I got my girlfriend time, which, you know, everybody knows. You know, that's a big part of our lives. You know, I enjoy her, I love her.
I mean, if we were to go for a ride around town, by the time we're done riding, there's 100 bikes behind us. And they're all got purebred sweatshirts on and t-shirts and, you know, and wanting to get the closest over here. We pick up a wheelie. This guy wants to light up for us so we can see. And it's all, you know, we got our family's really, really, really deep. That's where a lot of people don't understand.
So our sport, street freestyle, is still underground. You know, like to practice, we don't have legal practice spots. We gotta go find an abandoned parking lot, abandoned warehouse, you know, a street out in the middle of nowhere with no traffic. Like we're the professionals, basically with no professional title right now. We don't have a spot on TV yet. We don't have a spot in the X Games. What we're doing is we're keeping it off the street. You know, like we're here at this event. You know, we got a practice spot all day. You know, no cops. All the TV stations, they see one person wheelie down the highway, and then they plaster this bad image on everybody that, oh, these guys are, you know, they're bad people. They don't do nothing but illegal, careless things on the highway. Whereas I like to show them that, you know, there's also a professional side to everything. You know, we're actually doing this for a reason. We're not out just to show off. I mean, of course we're to show off and look cool, but that's not our main purpose now. We got goals. You know, we got criteria to fulfill. You know, we got to make money. You know, we got families to support. You know, we're trying to combine our passions with our lives.
Here we're in Guyana, late summer 2003. 3 riders, me, Brandon, and George. We're set to do a show Sunday night. We're performing at the national park. When we get to the spot, they tell us there's 8,000 people, a completely sold out arena, and we're looking at the fence, and they've got their army security guards with M16s blocking the gate because they can't fit any more people in there, and people are trying to jump the fence to get in. You know, I've never been in such a situation, so I get out there. You know, I was debating on what trick to start it with. You know, I was like, whatever, I'll just do a regular wheelie just to see what they thought. You know, I clutched it up, you know, did a slow wheelie across the parking lot, and was just like, whoa. I could hear everyone scream through my helmet. I could feel it in my chest. As soon as we got on our bikes, they turned the music on, the crowd was roaring. They were looking at each other like, man, you know, is this real? Right before I ride, even though I'm confident now at what I do and I know I'm gonna do it right, I still get nervous just because you never know how the crowd's gonna react. After we did the show, they said it's the biggest event their country has ever had. I remember a direct quote, "Our show sold twice as many tickets as a Sean Paul concert." How about that? Just think if we did that in America. Everywhere I went, you know, people wanted to see what I did. They were running out in the streets, chasing us down. You know, we stopped in the streets one time at one of the promoters' houses and just rode there, and within 10 minutes, the entire block was running down the street just to meet us. In the States, you know, I live the typical, normal, everyday life. I go to school, and then when I'm not in school, I'm dedicated to, you know, my stunt riding and furthering my career in that. It really felt good to see someone care that much about what I did. Just riding around, cruising, going to the store. You know, people would hear our bikes coming, and they would be out in the, they would run out of their houses and stand in the road just to see us ride by. You know, some of them couldn't afford the show, so we give them a little street show. I'm expressing myself on my motorcycle, and they're giving me just as much love as I wanted to give them to show it, you know what I mean? It was just so much respect shared. You know, it was like a mutual respect for each other rather than, you know, I'm an out-of-control freak on a bike.
Always at the right place, but always at the wrong time.
Everybody in America.
In the States, just because I own a sport bike, people perceive me as reckless, out of control, you know, a threat to society. But in Guyana, you know, they seen it for genuinely what it was. They seen a controlled stunt performed on a bike that was amazing. You know, they have respect for what I was doing.
Entertainment for the people. We inspired them to do it.
Always at the right place, but always at the wrong time.
This thing's gonna be so much fun.
Sun comes up as the moon goes down. We go straight as the world goes round. With all the signs on the route through town. Familiar faces, so we stomp our ground. Like a tribe with pride and a do or die. Get high to fight or see through a lie. A weak supply and we caught behind. Here's a penny for your thought and a nickel five. Where about to spark it? Corner the market, hard target. Snatch it up like a hungry ass shark. It's Linx. More flows in the faucet. My soul in my thumb and the oversized carcass. Smacks to y'all. I reject your fronts like a basketball. Can't respect your raps. Already passed you all. Use your acting class as your casting call, man. some. If it's on, our people's here when we gone. Our vision's there, this song.
Making my shit look nasty.
You put our remedies in use. The government's a training, education's the caboose. Spare me the excuse, you're looking chemically induced. No one knows my gravity till they're walking in my shoes. Now choose, this ain't the truth. Footsteps on my roof, systematically the losing. Finally will know the truth in my tooth like a cavity. I'm not feeling anything. Well, I thought it before the dreams like a wedding ring. You gotta mean it if you want us to believe it. You try to feed it, but we won't eat it. Delete it, the same old play, always reheated. Today's the day you scared tactics will be defeated. They got guns under every part of the hot sun. Whether you like it or not, they not done. The revolution is here, your option. It's the rise up and play the possum. Do you really wanna wear these silly costumes? Be an army man, a hero saving Gotham. The cops come, so we run. Ask why, cause the classes divide. And the rich got they spies inside. It's time to write another chapter where the hostages overthrow their captor. Like some slaves about to take out their master. Think a little faster, then we Casper. Way past the point of no return. Once you find a history, ain't always what we've learned. Absurd, hiding from the eye in the sky. I'm so tired of lies, it takes a few angry minds. They get their claws, rip the balls. We live and see it all, supervision. Forget be scared, stay home. Prepare for the clothes that like a dare. Action is only the reactions of all that we can draft this and draw. So stay inside and let the damage divide. Giving the slack, and I won't sit on this hope if you're not giving us facts. I see the end of the slope, and we're breaking our backs. You try to cope like a lumberjack and bury the axe. We won't relax. Time won't lie when you look it in the eyes. Our ears and minds are working. We don't need no wings to rise. These are the times, like those behind us are moving forward. Changes around the corner, gotta keep on looking for it. Take 24 hours to start this shit. You can park this bitch in the ditch. No more darkness. A spark is the only way your fire breathes. You need believe, cause I ain't free. Are you living every moment that you choose? Hell no, what you got to lose? If we refuse to live the way they say we can, then ladies and gents, we call their bluffs and play this hand. One, two, three, I got a real big stick and ain't afraid to use it. My pimp hand shines right through my music. Don't pimp hoes, pimp flows on the regular. Kick the facts like a mailbox, etc. 5% of them, LA for governor. Everybody's loving her. It's the front runner for president. But politics are relevant. Check how we be setting it. Yikes get affectionate. It's like when elephants see peanuts, they get some. Like Bill did Monica when she had that dress on. Like Gates did microchips. Bush got oil. Pee Wee Herman had aluminum foil. Guess what I'm getting at is everybody's testing that. Water with their big toe. You should be heading back. Not gonna jump in and get your legs pumping. Then Cinderella, you gon' turn into a pumpkin. Get some. Yeah. Come on, get some. Yeah, you just can't turn it off. Come on, get some. Get some. You Sometimes you may hear them scream and shout it. Sometimes you sit around and think about it. Sometimes you wait too long to make your move. Sometimes you move too quick and lose the groove. But you get back and wrap it in the gift bag. Kick back cause everyone's like, from the front lawn back to the backyard. So sweet, I think I'll stop and eat at the snack bar. Cause when you want it, and that's it. Some say tequila lies, some say that's the shit. Some say it lives and strives and gives you power like a gun. Some say it's all a lie, easier said than done. But if you're dancing in the sandwich, showing off your medals, body language increasing the pheromonic levels. Jump in the middle, hit the floor like running rebels, and get down like an angel, work out those horny devils. Get some, yeah. Get some. Can't turn it off. Yeah. You just can't turn it off. Come on, get some. Yeah. Get some. Yeah. You just can't turn it off. Come on.
It's just me, no them, there's no them, there's just now. I just see moments and omens that bust down any door with the master lock. I'm feeling like an astronaut on a spacewalk. You straight lost from my passerelle. I asked about like 100 different people, and what's funny is they keep on running from the lovely people. Say together might be better, but alone could be so heavenly. A tone or an element that frolics in the melody.
Maybe a wallet full of pennies and a heavy head. Maybe some alcoholic tendencies and empty bed. Cause I got plenty pens that tend to give me peace when I write. I got one bottle of rum hollow from the previous night. The street ain't the type to always spit well. The man is Scraps, fat cat. You can tell when our shit swell, so did well. Hey yo, let's split this song. Fuse brains and like the crew's name, get our links on.
We wake from an empty bed and explore alternatives. Go through the same cycles as our relatives did. You forgot your thinking cap and don't know where your helmet is. Flying down the highway and the wind is at your fist. Attitude, hit or miss, speed it up ridiculous. Take heed to the warning, make yourself like Incubus. We take our rhythms and our rhymes and put them on a disc. Keeping records of our time flowing so continuous.
Slowly, show me who you want me. And slowly, where you're going. Take your time. Relax your mind. Take your
The late night, I fantasize that we play fight. Late spice till we bang, right? Black eyes till daylight comes and still something ain't right. Cause in reality, we're still miles away. Casualties of baby not today. And if it has to be, who are we to say? I'm gonna move you soft like Carlito's way. In a song, protons, neutrons, dirty fun on the green futon. Damn straight, I never do you wrong like Calhoun and Yukon. I wrote 2 songs, cause you're hotter than Tucson, Arizona. You can heat up a sauna, break out 2 coronas. I'm usually alone.
I feel so alone without such a bad number till I met you. Didn't know the meaning of real hunger till I met you. Finding it really hard to breathe in, to such a degree that I usually feel at home. Lately I've been feeling so alone, continuously staring at my walls. This breakup habits got me up my zone. I better get some sleep, it's getting late. At night I feel so lonely, so lonely. At night I feel so lonely, so lonely.
I'm in the dark, but I'm not scared. I'm nocturnal, so I'm quite prepared. I close my eyes, but they still stare. Looking further inside of you, be questioning like, who am I? She the one for me. Why can't we just ever let it be? Or better yet, am I the one for her? Things get blurred, there's so much to learn. Then little orange lights fly around the room. Fixed on the sight, still watch cartoons. Involuntary solitude. On the contrary's the best time to move. The best time to breathe, the best time to rise. The best time to take off the bullshit disguise. Best time to look in the mirror, say hi. Best time to touch what you can't inside. Then it feels so different. You can't win if you don't play the scrimmage. Hop the train if you forget the ticket. It's coming to you, so don't forget to hit it. Cause if you need, I'll be there in a minute. I know it's spot where they keep the brews frigid. But I'm the water so we can just kick it. Say life is beautiful, but only when you live it.
At night I feel so
Ladies and gentlemen, representing this evening for your selection is Universal, worldwide, and beyond. The rinse and the bounce. Come on!
Wake up to find a new star. You fake, you don't have no heart. Like some of these rappers who walking in backwards and acting all hard. They start. As first, they talk up their rear. This year, I walk with no fear. I pray to God, I'm dealt the cards. I need to get out of here. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay cooler than winters in South. The colder, reaching my quota when no corners of earth will shout. Unite, makes life. Alright, stay burning the mics every night. We spark a light inside your body, your soul, and your mind.
To all you money grubbing, ego thriving, yeah, me headed synthesizing and seeds.
We got more if you want more tickets.
Stop right there, nobody moved. All those lies between your teeth that must be hard for you to chew. The truth, the day you crew lost all sense of honesty and never had the nerve to toss an empty apology. You kick the curb, hands in your underarms, wondering if this bullshit's really worth the cover charge. You're trying to pull that girl back to your mom's garage. We'll throw you overboard and take over your sabotage. And pledge allegiance from the fields to the boulevard. You don't wanna see it, but these evil cats are playing guard. They keep you pushing, they carry the weight. Takes a dick in the bush to show the American way.
We got more if you want more tickets.
Alright.
We got more if you want more tickets. We got more if you want more tickets.
More than hip hop.
We got more if you want more tickets.
Well, we can sit and butter bacon and keep on belly aching. On the line of scrimmage, duck and weave and steady shutter shaking. We'll make a statement like maybe yo I can, but this dance is a stop till we got time for the sweat. Looking down on the town with the giant snowball and let that bitch go till it overrode y'all. Just to show y'all this is so y'all can destroy y'all. Things are moving quick like Uncle Tom Sawyer. I call my lawyer when I'm looking for some legal. Advice is nice, I ain't trying to live the regal. Price of life, I send my message like the Beatles. You cats are twice as evil, loving shinies like your Spiegel. We're acting tricksy, don't make me mad like Bill Bixby. That's his ignorance, Alabama Hicksby. Tipsy, drinking whiskey, about the flipsy. We got you moving like some 60s, gypsy. Shit, B, these sissies think they all ritzy. Glitz and glamour, got the cameras all misty. It's the incredible three, we get frisky. Let's begin this attack, ain't too risky.
We got more if you want more tickets.
It hurts to see you weep, but just to see you sleep.
Stuck like a jerk at work, pouring martinis with dirt. That's when I perp this skirt, it kinda hurt. Yo, baby's nice, walking graceful as New York. I think we used to flirt for sport, but I ain't sure. She had the baby blue shirt, I stepped closer. If my boss wasn't looking, I'd be pouring some mimosa for both of us. I bet no one else since before we ever picked up on this sort of flow in us. And it got glorious, it got better and better. Cop the Purebred Jetta, a leather and stack cheddar. It turned November and a year passed by. How did I get here? I felt the fear flash. Why?
Like a flare in the night and glare my eye through a sea of people always hustling and bustling. You brought the discussion and move your mind's muscling. You got the buffering to leave it.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rick Nasty from Purebred Riders. You may have seen me in some of the street bike competitions across the country. Or you may know me from some of the hottest street bike DVDs out today. This DVD is going to provide you an insight of the hot new emerging sport of street bike freestyle is all about. I'm going to show you, the basics from general bike setup to, the real technicality of how I do my tricks. And then we're going to go all the way into preparing for a competition. Good controlled environments to practice are somewhat hard to find. I practice at the local drag strip and an abandoned parking lot, which I have received permission. If you don't live near a drag strip, make sure you have permission to practice at that location. Never practice alone and keep an eye out for poor riding conditions like standing water after a rain, sand, or oil. The worst place to practice is the street. Not only is it illegal, but you're playing with variables that you can't control. When you're straddling a bike that has more horsepower than most standard cars today, safety obviously becomes an important issue. I'm here at HAI Bike Shop where I get on my safety gear. Let's go ahead and check it out. The most important piece of safety equipment is the helmet. Invest in the best one you can afford. Always buy a brand new helmet. You never know the condition of a used one. When I'm riding, regardless of how fast I'm going, I'm always wearing my helmet. Another important piece of safety gear is your leather jacket. I wear my jacket when I'm uncomfortable in my environment, when I'm trying new tricks or I'm trying a really dangerous trick such as a stoppie or your acrobats where you never know what's going to happen or what's going to go wrong. That way when you do fall, you might be ruining a $300 jacket, but you get up, all your skin's still in place, you go out, you do it again. You also want to get a good pair of gloves to protect your hands. Now that I've gone over personal safety, let's talk about protecting your bike. Investing a little money now can save you a ton in the long run. Here are a few things to consider when getting your bike prepped for stunting. My current ride is a Honda 929RR. I got a lot of modifications done to it. Nothing too drastic. I like to keep it kind of street, still looking stock. But first modifications are the slightly bigger sprockets. That gives me a little more engine braking when I'm doing the tricks where my foot's not on the rear brake, like the spreaders and the crossovers. I got a stronger chain. The clutching up, how we clutch the wheelies up and all the abuse it gets. I've broken a few chains, so that right there's the best chain money can buy. Thank Mark HAI for hooking that up. But things that save you, you know, we crash a lot, obviously. If you haven't seen already, I'm dropping my bike everywhere and still manages to look good. I like to thank Freestyle Ingenuity for hooking me up with my brand new blinging cage. What this does is it protects, you know, your motor. Like if I would drop my bike right now on the kickstand and it would hit that case cover, it would be busted. Right there's a $90 for the case cover, $10 for a gasket, $30 for oil and oil filter. Right there was a $130 mistake. These cages cost you $275 shipped. So you wreck twice, you bought you a free cage. You know what I mean? So it's definitely an investment well spent. You know, in terms of engine work, this thing's completely stock. I mean, I do have an Arian racing exhaust, which is, you know, been through the works. That thing's pretty much destroyed. It's about the only part of my bike that's ugly right now. But I mean, that's the only modification that would affect the horsepower at all. I do a lot of spreaders and crossovers. I stuck a little bit of grip tape here because when I'm up in the air, my tailbone's locked in right at that spot. If I hit any bump or any little crack or little blip of the throttle, which doesn't happen because I'm pretty consistent, you know what I mean? But you want to have this here, it kind of locks into your pants, so, you know, God forbid you do make a mistake or you do hit a bump, you're staying right on the tank, locked in. You ain't got to worry about falling off the bike or falling back down, you know, going crooked. I've also got a custom welded support brace for my upper. From the factory, this whole front plastic area is really, really fragile. Got my guy Roger at AOK Trailers. He came in with, you know, a little fabrication design. It's underneath my padding here. It bolts down to the frame, which just makes this stable. So when I jump up and I do my watchtower, you know, my plastics don't fold in half. I also have steel braided brake lines, front and rear. Steel braided brake lines give it, you know, a more positive, consistent feel when you're riding. Like when you're in a wheelie and you're hitting the rear brake, steel braided brake lines are, you know, they don't expand. When you hit the brake, it's solid. Whereas a rubber brake line, when you hit the brake, it expands. You know, it's a more consistent feel when you're doing the tricks like we do. We can't afford to go out, have one of our parts fail on us. Every stunter needs to start off with a few basic stunts. Here are the 3 most basic stunts. Okay, we're gonna start with your basic wheelie. I prefer the clutch wheelie. The clutch wheelie is a more advanced technique, but you have like 3 times the control as a power wheelie. Basic clutch wheelie, you wanna start out really low in the RPM range, because basically when you're clutching a wheelie up, you're going straight to the balance point. You know, it's really good for small areas. So clutch wheelie, you want to get really low in the RPMs, get the bike settled in straight, hit on the gas about a quarter throttle, and like this again, it's like a quarter second. As soon as you hit the gas, you pull the clutch in, give it a little bump, let go and pull back. It's like gas, and then you clutch it, let go. Once again, too much gas, too quick, you're going backwards. Not enough, front tire's not going to come off the ground. So depending on your bike, 600, 1,000, your gearing, you know how much power you got, you know, you want to start out small. You know, all this happens within like a quarter second. Like there's really no, like you're accelerating, and then it's boom, and you're up in the air, backing out of the throttle, doing your wheelie. When you're preparing to wheelie, you want to be looking straight ahead, and you want to check for obstacles in the road, see what's going on, see what's in front of you. You know, just in case something bad's up there, you want to be prepared for it. You don't want to be looking down at you. You want to get comfortable with all your movements first, because you don't want to be looking down at your clutch or at your throttle when you're wheeling. You always want to be focused ahead, concentrated on what's going on in front of you. Kind of like the basic concept. You look where you want to go, it applies here too. Here's how I clutch up a wheelie. And then we're going to move on to the stoppie and endo, which is the most dangerous stunt I perform. Before I do any stoppies on a new bike, I make sure the front end is completely mechanically sound. Another thing that's really critical is tire pressure. You don't want to have too steep a tire pressure. You you know, over 30, and when you're up rolling high, you get a lot of head shake, which I run a steering dampener real tight to prevent all the head shake. And if I'm riding in poor conditions, I lower the tire pressure in the lower 20s. Normally I run 28 on an ideal surface, but you know, I'm riding in poor conditions all the time, so I run in between 20 and 22, which gives me a little more stability when I'm rolling high at the balance point. But to begin a basic stoppie, your general stoppie is when you're coming in on the bike in between 10 and 20 miles per hour roughly. You're getting your body square with the bike so the rear end doesn't swing sideways. When I'm doing my stoppies, I use 2 fingers on the front brake for optimum brake control. It allows the rest of my hands to be locked into the clip-ons almost like normal to maintain the leverage on the handlebars. Just in case the tail end of the bike starts swinging out when I'm doing the stoppies, like say it starts swinging out to the right, I push pressure on the right clip-on and it swings it back to the left and realigns it to the center. I wanted to keep my bike straight up and down, vertical. The straighter you are, the further you're gonna roll. You wanna come in, we'll say 20 miles per hour for example, have your body upright and erect. You wanna be scoot kind of forward on the tank with your knees locked and the little indentation here that your knees are supposed to go into anyways. But you wanna lock those there, push them forward. This is how I do a rolling endo. Moving on to burnouts, which I know and love. The first burnout I learned was a standstill burnout. To do my basic standstill burnout, I pull the clutch in, I release all the weight on the rear tire by standing up, kind of lift up so all the weight is off the seat, kind of on my tiptoes, apply pressure to the front brake, keep my weight square centered over the wheel, pushing down on the clip-ons, ease out of the clutch a little bit, give it gas, and just roll the clutch out and give it gas. Rear tire should be breaking loose. To stop the burnout, all I do is pull the clutch in, which disengages the motor to the rear tire, and I'm back to idle, chilling, ready to go again. A lot of things can go wrong when doing a burnout. The main thing that goes wrong, I tend to notice, is the front end push. That can be because there's too much pressure on the rear tire. You know, I didn't stand up high enough and I kept the rear end weighted too much and I got too much traction in the rear end. Or I can have the rear end completely unweighted, but I didn't apply enough pressure to the front tire to keep that firmly planted on the ground. Too much throttle or releasing the clutch too fast could cause the bike to just do a complete backflip.
The paramedics right now, we need paramedics.
Which will lead to some serious injury. It's just trial and error like anything, you know what I mean? You do it long enough and you think about what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, you know? Why is my bike leaning right, you know? Why is it so low? I mean, it's just basically, I look at it like a big problem, you know what I mean? Kind of like a math problem, like, what am I doing wrong? You know, why is my bike too high? Why is it too low? You know, what do I do to fix that? And then at night when I'm done riding or reviewing the footage, you know, I look, I'm like, oh, my stoppies are too low. You know, my back's not arched right. I just analyze everything, try and make it right, you know what I mean? That way the next time I get out here, it's gonna be perfect. Here's some more elaborate stunts. Check them out. My reason for mastering the sport of freestyle stunting was for fun and to be competitive with top riders. Now that I have accomplished that, I want to turn around the negative image of stunt riders and bring respect to the emerging sport of freestyle stunting. It is up to you, the individual rider, to help turn this negative image around. In addition to riding professionally, I bring awareness and safety through education such as this DVD and competitions. As the sport has grown, competitions are spreading nationwide. Being a good stunt rider isn't just about popping wheelies, but the ability to perform a stunt in a controlled manner. When you're riding the bike, the most important piece of safety equipment is obviously your helmet.
Welcome, Crackers, Mr. Nasty.